Welcome to CF 2.0 Geek Out, where we deep dive into ClickFunnels 2.0 and how to use it to grow your funnel building business.
Hey, I'm Susan.
And I'm Andrea.
Come along with us as we learn and discover how to use the new ClickFunnels and how to make it bend to our will. Hey, everybody. Welcome to CF 2.0 Geek Out. It has been a while. So
it has been. I missed you.
Yeah, I missed you. Okay, so it's been a while. So I'm going to reintroduce myself. I'm Susan Leonardson.
I'm Andrea Peer.
Yeah, awesome. Okay, we were going to have possibly hang on. We got audio happening here. That was you. Okay, cool. I was like, I don't know what's playing over here.
That's me. Just open it up to make sure we see comments.
That's good news.
Yay.
Okay. Anyway, happy New Year.
Yeah, happy New Year.
We have some exciting things to talk about today that happened like while we were on our break, and it's gonna be just really updates, and I'm excited about it because it means we're getting closer. We're getting closer.
Yes.
So, Andrea, you and I were talking about this before. Where like we still don't know for sure. We still are, we're still like hoping, we're crossing our fingers hoping, but we do have more information. And the development is, I don't know, I forgot which date it was on.
It was on December 24th,
awesome.
Just in time for Christmas.
Right before Christmas.
Yep.
Russell gave us a Christmas present with an update.
Mm-hmm.
And do you want to, I saw it. I sent it to you. I was like,
yes.
Andrea, look.
Yes, I was actually unplugged and I was like, ah.
Do you want to, just share your thoughts on it?
Yeah. And I think we have a clip too, which we'll share, but I think my initial thoughts, just as I was looking at it, and I don't want to go too deep until we hear the clip, but my initial thoughts were, first of all, I love that we actually got an update, right? I think a lot of us are like, what is happening? And with like no communication whatsoever, it's frustrating. And just, chomping at the bit. So it was really nice. I really appreciated Russell coming and giving at least an update, even though he kind of didn't give us an update, but he did, like at least there was some communication, which was really nice. The second thing is, as I was listening to him talk, I was kind of brought back to my software development days. And I was like, I so understand this tension. So, and maybe we should play the clip and then we can talk deeper about that tension.
Hey, let me pull it up here. And
if you guys haven't watched it, we have it on the feed in CF 2.0 Geek Out. It's a post that I made on December 24th, and there's a big picture of Russell, and you can dive into that video. We shared it there.
Yeah, I think there may be you might have to go and join the Funnel Hacking Live 2022 group that the video is being shared from to be able to view it. But if you don't want to go and join that group, we're going to pretty much share all the details right now with you. So, nice. All right, let me share my screen. And all right, so let's make sure this is in the right spot.
10,000 people that know anything about 2.0. To put in perspective, we had 2,000 people a day that joined Click, and we're excited. And we made I know at Funnel Hacking Live we talked about it, and then you've heard very little from me. And the reason why is because I want to give it to you guys so badly. You have no idea, like. My initial goal was to have it live for Funnel Hacking Live, and we didn't get it all the way in time. And now we're getting closer and closer and closer. And I wanted to give it to you like literally every single week, like here it is, here it is, here it is. And so a couple of things. Number one is I know a bunch of you guys are stressing out, like, is January 1st you guys billing us? And the answer is no. We pushed out the billing till, I don't even know, way out in the future, because obviously you haven't had access to it. You guys get access to it for a while before, actually you're gonna have access to all the core features before we start billing anybody. So don't stress about that. There's no payments or anything.
So just in case if anybody's not able to hear it, just to do a quick recap, I think the key moment there was just billing is getting pushed out. He said until like Q2, so that was one of the concerns. So sorry, go ahead.
Coming up because you haven't had the software yet. The bigger question for me is like, when do you get to have access to it? How many of you guys are freaking out? Like, I want to use it today, Russell. I'm the same way. In fact, our goal was to give you guys funnel hubs in October, then November, then December. And I've had access to funnel hubs, and we've been building multiple 3 or 4 different funnel hubs right now, which is really fun. But as we're doing it, it's to put this in perspective for anyone who's not a programmer, I'm not a programmer. It's like this chicken and the egg where it's like, hey, here's funnel hubs. But for funnel hubs to be done, the editor's got to be done. For the editor to be done, you got to have this done. And like all the things kind of interact. And so, well, I just wanted, in my mind, I'm like, hey, we'll just give them funnel hubs. They can start building funnel hubs tomorrow. Todd's like, yeah, in theory, that's good. But the problem is, if we give them funnel hubs, there's these other things that have to be done first. And so it's just taking longer because everything is contingent upon each other. And it's not like they're just building funnel hubs. They're building the entire platform, the e-commerce platform, the new funnel building platform, like the new editor, like, which is insane, all sorts of other stuff. And so it's just taking a little longer than we planned. But the good.
Yeah, cool. And thanks, Brandon, for that. He can't hear it. Okay. So this is the part that I was talking about. Okay. So there, you know, on any product development team, there's always this like really healthy tension between marketing and sales and project management and the dev team, right? You know, marketing wants to get it out like yesterday, and they kind of don't sometimes totally appreciate the complexity of developing these technology systems. And then, you know, project management is usually like trying to bridge the gap of like, you know, okay, we hear you marketing and sales, we want to get it out right away. And the product team is like, okay, it's not that we want to go slow by any means, but there's all of these pieces that are connected. And there's, you know, it's kind of the whole, like, you can't birth a baby in less than 9 months kind of strategy, right? Like some of it just takes time. And specifically with ClickFunnels, it's what we are called an integrated digital environment, meaning that all of the features are connected to all the other features. Like it's a contained unit. It doesn't tease apart very easily. And so when he's talking about that, I'm just like, so deeply feeling that pain from my software development days, because it's like, he is the brilliant marketer, right? Who's like trying to get it out to the people, and Todd is the brilliant developer, you know, and you feel this tension even as he's talking about it. And it's like, the one last thing I'll say is that there's this hilarious parody that I should put in the feed where they are trying to capture this communication that happens between marketing and product development. And marketing is like, okay, guys, you know, they have a pen and they're like, imagine the pen is red. And the product development team is like, the pen is blue. No, you're not being creative. The pen is red. And product development's like, that's great, but it's blue. It's just like, that's what it reminds me of as he's talking. But
that's good. I love that. That's so true. I was telling you before too, like I'm experiencing a little bit of that dynamic myself as well with what we're developing. And I'm not a developer by any means. And I have my sister that works for me, and she's a developer. And it's just like, it's like, I only know so much. So it's like the communication between us is, like we just have to, I feel like I'm Russell in this moment of like, oh, like, I think we can do this in this amount of time, but she's like, no, I need more time.
Yes.
Yeah. So relatable. Okay. I'm going to play the next part of this too, because Russell starts going into more of like things that they're working on, like features, which I love to geek out on. So let's see,
Good news is we're close. We have built a couple funnel hubs now that are done, that are working. There's like 3 or 4 more things on my side that I'm like, oh, we need to tweak this. We need to make the navigation menu, do these different things over here. But the good news is, like, from a speed test standpoint, we've been doing speed tests on it. The new pages are so fast. They are insane. One of the cool things that just came out is, I just know there's blog in ClickFunnels 2.0, and the first version that we didn't decide to give you guys was, it looks very similar to WordPress, and you have like a little editor, but Todd and I were both just like, God, to make this amazing, we need the ClickFunnels editor when you're editing your blog post. I don't want like a crappy WordPress editor. I want the ClickFunnels editor to do your blog posts. So that's been taking longer. That finally got done, and so now
I'm going to pause it there for a moment.
Yeah.
Because I was kind of cool to hear that, because we had been speculating on this a little bit when we were like early on, of like, we didn't have anything at that point. And I know you and I and Dan were all talking about like, is it going to be like WordPress style stuff? And I'm so glad to hear that they were like, no, it has to be ClickFunnels editor, because that's what we love about ClickFunnels is the editor.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it still opens up that question though, you know, so any of us who have developed in WordPress, we know that yes, there is like Elementor out of the box that we can use, right? But then you can also get like Beaver Builder. Ugh, don't ever get Beaver, but you know what I mean? Or like, there's a ton of other editors that you could use, and it's all based on the theme. So one thing that is really interesting that I'm looking for I agree with you. I love the ClickFunnels editor. I think it's really simple. It's easy to use, especially if they make universal, right? Like it's awesome. So then the question will be, if it is a platform as a service, will they allow for the same mess that WordPress opened up in terms of like other better editors? Or what I hope happens is that they keep the ClickFunnels editor non-negotiable. That's the main editor. And they allow people to add on like add-ons to the editor, but it's the core editor is the same for everyone. That would be amazing.
Yeah, I agree. I think that would be a best case scenario, because it gets really complicated and confusing when you start getting all those other types of editors, and it makes it really hard for like just take a step back and like look at the types of entrepreneurs that are using ClickFunnels. A lot of them, including Russell, build their businesses on somewhat showing how to build stuff in ClickFunnels. And if everyone has like a different style of editor, how complicated would that be to create a product walking people through how to do this in ClickFunnels when everyone might have a different style of editor happening because they chose a different theme? Like that would be really sucky. And I hope that they don't go that direction.
100% agree.
Yeah.
Okay. And it's also the complication of like, you need to make sure then that you find an agency that specializes in that editor, right? Like, again, I was working with a client this morning and we're helping her with her WordPress site. Long story. We're not getting into it. We're getting her off of it, but for now, it took me like 2 hours just to kind of orient to be like, okay, what editor is she using? What theme, like what plugin, it's crazy making. So yeah,
I think that's kind of one of the beauties of having a software that is kind of an all-in-one, in that like you use it and that's what you use, and like everyone knows how to use it. Tech support, customer service of ClickFunnels are going to be able to help people because they understand like this is how it is for everybody. Like, could you imagine the nightmare if people were using a different setup, even if it's like a third party, but if they have it installed in their account but they have an issue, they're going to contact ClickFunnels for support. And they're not going to be able to help them because they're like, well, you have this thing that totally changed how this works. I get the add-ons, I get adding on to it, but it's not totally like changing the foundation of the design and how it functions and all that. So I mean, it just makes sense that they would keep it that way. And we like just the excitement of when Russell said like we have to have the ClickFunnels editor, like makes me believe that they're just gonna like stick with that. That's what it's gonna be.
Yeah. Yep.
For everything. And I'm so grateful for that.
Oh my gosh, me too. Yes, so true.
All right. I think there's a bit more for features that he's talking about here.
Okay.
Now, like you can make blog posts in the editor, which is like so cool. Anyway, there's a bunch of really cool things. So just to give you guys perspective, we are very, very close. Our game plan is in the first couple weeks in January to finally give you guys who sign up for ClickFunnels 2.0 access to the Funnel Hub feature. That's the first thing we want to give you guys, which is exciting. So we'll probably open up to a small group of maybe 50 to 100 people at the very beginning of January to get a bunch of people just testing it really quickly, and then we'll give it to everybody who signed up for 2.0 probably in the middle of January. I don't have final dates yet because there's 2 or 3 features I'm just working, we're working to get finalized and perfected before we give it to everybody. And the reason why is because if I give it to 3,000 people,
okay, so we got a little bit of the timeline update there. There's one thing that he's going to say next, which I might just say it so we don't have to find where he says it. But he starts talking about like, oh, he just now said like, oh, there's a few more features and stuff that we're working on that I want to make sure are in there and like working. Later in this video, he does start talking about like in the membership area, they're working on a navigation. So if you guys have been watching any of our past Geek Out videos, we've heavily been focusing on membership areas because that's what Andrea and I and Dan all love to like play around with. And it has the most potential to be customized. Whereas like funnels, like they've given us everything that we really need for funnels. We don't need to play around with that too much, but membership areas, it's fun because 1.0 ClickFunnels left so much room for customization that's what we love to do. So anyway, my point is that later in this video, like probably in another 30 seconds, he talks about the navigation menu. So we have talked about like the lack of wayfinding and navigation menus inside of the membership areas that we have access to right now that are built in 2.0. And we have heavily criticized that of like, oh man, they really need to like work on their navigation here. So I was like really excited to hear him throw that into this little update video of like, oh, they are working on like another navigation. So maybe they'll have like an element where you drop it in on the page that is like the navigation of 1.0 ClickFunnels membership areas, because that's it. To me, it makes sense that they would give us something like that because that's what people are used to. That's what current ClickFunnels customers are used to using and viewing. So it makes sense that they would kind of give us that option to have it that way.
Yeah. Yep. 100% agree. Yeah.
Okay. Anything else you want to add on to that?
No,
I think I'm going to stop playing the video.
Yeah, no. That was definitely a relief. And I'm looking forward to seeing what exactly they have brewing on that front. Yeah.
Okay. So I think the last thing is this, just talking on that timeline, the update that he just gave us for, I mean, today is the 7th. So by his account of his words, then they should have already given access to his small little select group of people that he mentioned that they're going to give it to, just to like work out any last minute
speculating
kinks.
on who's in that group. Like we're pretty sure that Goosen is in that group.
Yeah, we think that we apparently there's a Slack ClickFunnels 2.0 group. And so, you know, I don't know, obviously I don't know who is in there for sure, but we can all speculate like Russell's closest friends and customers are in that group. You know, you can bet like Catherine Jones is probably in that group, and maybe even McCall, but I don't know that for sure. You know, probably speakers of Funnel Hacking Live that are like diehard ClickFunnels users. So Steve Larson
and the builders, because that's really who they need in there.
But I would say users too, because they want to make sure that it's, because I mean the vast majority of ClickFunnels users are not, I mean actually I don't know that for sure, maybe not even a vast majority, but I would say it's at least split, where like a lot of ClickFunnels users are not builders. They want to just build their business, and so they need to make sure that it's going to be usable to them. And I think that they probably understand that a lot of people that signed up at Funnel Hacking Live are just users.
I think though, like in software development, you like when you're doing these beta groups, you want people who are well versed in the building process.
Yeah.
As the first thing. And then I think they do like traditional usability tests after they've released to then improve for the non-daily builder type.
I agree. I think that they're in a little bit of a unique situation because they opened up beta to anyone who was at Funnel Hacking Live. And there's a lot of people that attend Funnel Hacking Live that are not builders. So they're going to have a lot of beta users that are not builders, which I think,
I agree. I was thinking about like the small group.
Oh yeah, the small group. Yeah, you're right. Like, so we probably have like Catherine Jones in there, Steve Larson, can't think of their name. Jamie, what's his face from
Yeah. Does Steve even build his own stuff anymore though? Or I think
no, but I don't know that. I don't know if he does or not, but he has obviously he built funnels for Russell for a lot of years, or you know, hundreds of them.
Because I know him and Ben just partnered up on that book. And I thought that Ben was building his funnels now.
So maybe he's not participating. Yeah. So obviously we have no idea. Maybe some of you in this group though are in that group and do know. But anyway, besides that, so they hopefully have given access to that small group by now. It's Friday. And then he said, and then middle of January, I think were his words, that the rest of those that have signed up for Funnel Hacking Live will get access to it. So I'm expecting in the next, I'm going to give them a couple of weeks and hope that by the third week of January that we have something in our hands based on his update. But also like knowing like things happen. If it's not ready, it's not ready. And I'm going to be okay with that.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
Awesome.
I was talking a lot in this episode. Andrea, do you have
I love it. You know, I think it's kind of a short and sweet one in terms of these are the two updates. I think we're going to like be watching like hawks over the next couple weeks as hopefully all goes well in this private small group, and the beta folks can actually start getting in there and playing around.
Yeah. I'm excited for Funnel Hubs. I currently do not have one of my own.
Yeah.
I kind of do, but not really. I need to redo it. So this will be a great opportunity for us to, those that are like, oh, I've been meaning to update that or update my website or whatever. Like now we'll have an opportunity to like an excuse to make it a priority, I guess is what I'm saying. We did have a question in the comments from Richard Kelly. He says, are y'all building many funnels at all right now in 1.0, or has everyone pretty much hit the pause button?
No, don't pause, because I think we're like a year out. So don't pause.
If you're ready for funnels now, build your funnel now in 1.0, build your membership now in 1.0 if you are ready for it. If it's not something that, if you're like not needing it and there's, you're still proving your offer, you're still bringing in beta people, whatever you might be working on, and you don't need it, then you could just hold off a little longer. But I'd say like, do not hinder or pause for your business.
Because I think we're still like 6 months to a year before this is like in the population. We can use it. It's part of business. I mean, I think we're still a ways. So I'm now telling all of my clients, like, we're not pausing. We're pressing in 1.0. Conversion may happen in the next year. So when you're making like your decision to make a yearly or monthly plan, like maybe, do the yearly, it's okay. And we'll handle the switching cost.
Yeah, I think that was kind of where we were standing at the beginning of like, oh, like we're going to have this in January. And so why make all of this now in 1.0 when in like a couple months we're going to have it and we can just start building in 2.0. But obviously that's not how it has played out. We were very optimistic, but that's not how it has happened. And given the timeline that we've had so far, I think you're accurate with the 6 month to a year before we actually have conversion over to 2.0 happening. So I would say like, even if you do get into 2.0 quickly, like, when they release it to more people, that doesn't mean you have to start using it fully right away. You could still be running your business in 1.0 while learning 2.0, while converting over to 2.0. And you don't have to sign up for it right away. You could say, I'm going to keep using 1.0 for the next year, and I'll worry about moving over to 2.0 in a year from now in 2023 when it's stable and not in beta anymore, and I have time to do it. So I think there's a couple of ways you could go depending on where your business is at right now. Good to see you, Richard. Thanks for joining. And you and I can talk later about your funnels.
Yes. Awesome.
Richard is one of my clients, so I'll talk to him more about that later.
I love it. Okay. Yes. And thank you for all you do in that ERE, Richard.
Yes. Thank you for, helping people. Okay. All right. If that's everything today, then I think we'll be back next week. We'll start doing our regular lives and keeping updated. Maybe we'll start hearing some things from the small beta group this week, but maybe not. Yeah. They might be sworn to silence, so we'll see what happens.
For the trickles.
Yeah. But we'll be back next Friday with something, even if it's just showing off something that we've been working on, which is always fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. We'll see you later.
See ya.